It's very tough, but there's one thing that I'm sure of is that I'm just not ashamed of it. The only difference is that I'm here and I'm alive and
but I am gonna say, Kanye sometimes be off his meds. He should just stay on the good meds. Don't make him do the dumb shit, because if he says 100 things, you'd be like, those 4 was dope. But that other 96, that was crazy.
Y'all, little Miss Julia Fox is in full-blown meltdown mode, and word in the streets is that it all has to do with Marlon Wayans threatening to leak her naughty tape with Kanye West. What? That's giving reach, but apparently it all erupted during a promotional interview for her up-and-coming movie with Marlon Wayans. What should have been a simple chat instantly turned explosive when Julia allegedly snubbed and disrespected Marlon Wayans on camera. Now everybody knows that Marlon does not do well with disrespect, and looks like Julia's about to find that out the hard way. Well, now Julia is reportedly furious beyond belief, and her team is scrambling to contain the scandal that's already been trending everywhere, and it looks like the movie is about to crash and burn before it even drops. So what does Kanye West think about this tape allegedly getting leaked, and how on earth do we even get from a harmless interview to leaked tapes? Well, I got to break it down for y'all. Now, most of us fans of the Wayans remember Marlon from "We're Colored, We're Happy, and We're Singing, and We're Brothers. Do-do-do-do. Give me a high five. Look up, Marlon. Say cheese." So when this news came out, fans were kind of split on this one, because some people think that Marlon did way too much by trying to threaten to leak a tape, and other people think that he was completely justified because Julia was a little too disrespectful. Now, it all started on an interview set. It was supposed to be just a regular interview to promote their movie, Him, but things took a wild turn, because while they were being interviewed, the topic of what a real man was came up. But every time Marlon tried to speak about being a man, Julia kept interrupting him, and at some point it was clear that Julia was doing it on purpose, and it was very rude. Take a look.
There's masculinity.
But what are real men?
Right. To me, a real man is a responsible man.
Because every time a man does some fuck shit, they'll be like, that's not a real man. And it's like, looks like a man to me.
I think a real man is in touch with his feminine
side. Looks like a duck and it walks like a duck,
I mean?
yeah.
I think.
Now, this wasn't the only time that she kept doing that, and according to reports, it only got under Marlon's skin more because nobody likes to be interrupted during an interview, especially when they're trying to talk. But still, how do we go from being rude to the mess of him threatening to allegedly leak a tape? Well, word in the streets is that there was some tension behind them while filming the show. Allegedly, Julia made some insensitive comments about the LGBTQ+ community on set, and Marlon didn't take it well. For context, Marlon's child, who was assigned female at birth, was transitioned into a man, and Marlon is super protective of his child, as he should be. And he has spoken about it so many times in so many interviews, like this one where he made it clear that his child had his full support.
It's about my daughter. I have a daughter that transitioned into a son. My daughter Amai is now Kai.
Truthful.
And so and so I talk about the transition, not her their transition, but my transition as a parent, going from ignorance and denial to complete unconditional love and acceptance.
Gotcha.
And I think there's a lot of parents out there that need to have that message.
He also made the same claim on Instagram where he wrote, "Happy Pride to all my LGBTQ+ peoples. P.S. I'm straight. Well, according to my child, cisgender male. I just love and support my peoples." So it's easy to say why Julia's alleged insensitive comments and statements would have gotten to him, and not in a good way. Now, we don't know if Julia directly set out to be transphobic or if she just made some ignorant comments that came off as transphobic, even though she might not have meant it that way. So we don't know what exactly happened, but it seemed like Marlon already had some sort of animosity towards Julia, and when she was acting rude at the interview, something in him snapped, and he threatened to hurt her like she had hurt him while they were on set. And this kind of explains why he went straight to the tape. Allegedly, instead of trying other methods like trying to talk it out or something. And honestly, this might have been the perfect way to finally get Julia to keep her mouth shut. Because honestly, her relationship with Kanye was one of the most embarrassing periods of her life. I mean, it was clear to everybody that Kanye was only with her to get under Kim Kardashian's skin and make her jealous. Spoiler alert, it didn't work. And out of nowhere, Kanye and Julia launched their relationship in January 2022. And y'all, it was a very hard launch. Kanye and Julia were spotted at a Broadway show, but all anyone could talk about was Julia's outfit. Decked out in head-to-toe Balenciaga, she was serving the look that screamed Kanye Kim energy. Basically the style that Kanye practically built Kim's wardrobe around. It gets even more interesting though, because after the play, Kanye took her to Carbone, which you guys probably know to be Kim's favorite restaurant in New York City. It was clear to everybody that Kanye was only with Julia to make Kim jealous, but it was clear that Julia couldn't see what was obvious to everybody else. In fact, she openly bragged about how much Kanye was into her and how he was obsessed with her. She even had a whole interview with Interview magazine, and she opened up about her romance with Kanye. She said, "I met Ye in Miami on New Year's Eve and it was an instant connection. His energy is so fun to be around. He had me and my friends laughing, dancing, and smiling all night." But weirdly enough, that wasn't the craziest thing about the interview. She continued, "We decided to keep the energy going and fly back to New York City to see Slave play. After the play, we chose to do dinner at Carbone, which is one of my favorite restaurants, obviously." She continued, "At the restaurant, Ye directed an entire photo shoot for me while people dined. The whole restaurant loved it and cheered us on while it was happening." Fans called her out for being the Lulu, with this person saying, "The whole restaurant loved it and cheered us on while it was happening. It's taking me out." But that wasn't the end of Julia's revelations in the interview. She shared, "After dinner, Ye had a surprise for me. He had an entire hotel suite full of clothes. It was every girl's dream come true. It felt like a real Cinderella moment. I don't know how he managed it or got everything there on time, but I was completely shocked. Like, who does something like this on a second date?" Well, honestly, it was giving major Kanye throws out Kim's wardrobe and refills it energy.
Is it so bad to keep things?
But you gotta like really clean out everything.
But Kanye ended up dumping her after a few weeks, and the relationship didn't even make it to the 2-week mark. It was humiliating for her, and it's easy to see why she wouldn't want an alleged tape to be leaked. Well, Kanye was probably yelling for Kim instead of her, and again, it was embarrassing. She even admitted that she was being used as Kim's replacement, saying, "I regret the relationship so much. I hate it. It was only a few weeks, but enough to last me a lifetime. I was in probably the most uncomfortable position in my life, and that's saying a lot. I realized pretty quickly I was being used as a pawn." But wait, there's more. According to people who claim to have seen this alleged tape, it's not only the adult stuff that Julia is trying to hide. Allegedly, the tape shows her doing some illegal substances with Kanye, if you catch my drift. Now, Julia has been open about her past and her use of illegal substances, but she claims to have been clean for a while now. However, if this tape shows her allegedly doing substances, well, it's not going to be a good look for her now, is it? But the thing is, there have been rumors of Julia allegedly doing substances with Kanye when they were together. Azalea Banks was one of the first to spill this tea back in 2022 when she said, "Kanye is snorting dog food, aka heroin, with his girl already. It's confirmed. Divorced Virgil, grieving his mom, plus a dirty junkie who was shooting up while she was pregnant equals calamity. Y'all gassing him now, but gonna be calling him a dope head in 3 months." Azalea also wrote, "We already know that tea, Fulia. You came to Miami looking for S-work, same lawyer was in contract with Ye, and it was a weak PR stunt from the jump. What did you hustle him for? A bag and some lotions? The things you have made public in regards to his substance use, stuff he probably had no clue about in the beginning, are not what he needs associated with him in any custody battle that may arise in court during divorce proceedings. Your liability says." Well, Julia then replied with a statement where she owned her past and insisted that she was clean. She said, "I'm open about my issues with addiction because I want to destigmatize it. Not all addicts are junkies. This is so horrible to say. It's a real disease, and I've also been open about my recovery journey. But now that there might be a video of evidence of her still using when she claimed to have been clean, well, let's just say that that's not going to be a good look for her. And if you're wondering how Marlon might have gotten this alleged tape in the first place, well, the studies are saying that Kanye was the one who recorded it and then allegedly showed it around. And as wild as it sounds, it's exactly the sort of thing that Kanye would do, because he did the same thing to Kim while they were married. And speaking of Kanye, it looks like there's some sort of beef between him and Marlon, because a few weeks ago Marlon hinted that Kanye might be addicted to substances. Y'all take a listen and tell me what you hear.
You know, but I am gonna say, you know, Kanye sometimes be off his meds. He should just stay on the good meds. Don't make him do the dumb shit, because if he says 100 things, you'd be like, oh, those 4 was dope. But that other 96, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, so it looks like he might be trying to kill 2 birds with 1 stone if he was leaking a tape. But honestly, the whole situation is spiraling and spiraling fast, and Julia's team is fighting to shut the story down. Marlon's camp is staying suspiciously quiet, and Kanye, well, he's probably somewhere pretending this has nothing to do with him again. But if this alleged tape ever sees the light of day, it's not just Julia's reputation on the line, it's Kanye's too, because the second that footage drops, all those buried rumors, all that drama will be coming right back up like vomit. And when it does, trust me, Hollywood won't ever look at Julia or Ye the same way again.